With no delay, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to be your presenter today. My name is Wendy White. I'm the industry manager for food and beverage here at Georgia Tech's Georgia MEP. Prior to joining Georgia Tech about 7 years ago, I spent the first 17 years of my career in food manufacturing. My focus is food safety, regulatory compliance, and help with those third-party audits. So today we kind of have a little bit of an interesting webinar. It's not necessarily technical. It's all about telling all of you about all of the different food safety resources. We're going to start off talking about the Georgia specific resources because we have some amazing extension and resource partners across the state. Then we're going to talk about university extension and the things, even if you're not in that state, you might take advantage of those resources. We're going to explore the governmental guidelines because that is extremely helpful, and a lot of people don't understand that there's a lot of help from that source. Then we're going to talk about professional organizations, industry resources, and listservs and newsletters that will instantly allow all of this fun information to come to your inbox. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so first we're going to explore the resources specific to the state of Georgia. And of course, I'm sorry, I have to start with my own. The extension division at Georgia Tech is called the Enterprise Innovation Institute. We lovingly refer to it as EI squared. And we have a lot of different departments inside of this EI squared umbrella. So anything from, we have the Georgia Tech Food and Beverage Accelerator for food founders and entrepreneurs. We have, of course, the Georgia MEP. I'll talk about my department in a second. But we also have other departments such as the SHES group, which really focuses on worker safety and environmental health services. We also have many more other departments, and everybody's mission is outreach to companies and organizations inside of the state. So my department, the Georgia Manufacturing Extension Partnership, we are true university extension. So our purpose is to just help support and help grow Georgia businesses. We specifically deal with manufacturers. And some of the things that we do, we have education classes, consulting, events, different resources, and all of our consulting and much of our education is subsidized by the state. So it's usually much lower cost than normal consultants. We don't just do food safety things, we do a ton of different things. So we have professionals that have come from all different backgrounds in manufacturing. So we have energy, sustainability, Lean Six Sigma, plant layout, engineering, automation, leadership, supply chain, all crazy different types of things. So you're always welcome to get out your camera and click on that, take a picture of this QR code if you'd like to learn more and contact one of our regional managers. Now, if you are specifically interested in the food and beverage things that we have going on, I welcome you to sign up for our free food and beverage newsletter. So this is my newsletter. I promise you will not get emailed anything crazy. It will just be a quarterly newsletter. Come to your inbox. We will not spam you. But this tells you all about the programs. You know, do we have any grants? Do we have any free or low cost classes? Any fun events that we have coming down the pike? You can sign up for this newsletter and learn all of that information. Another program that we have at Georgia Tech is our Food and Beverage Accelerator. So my colleagues, Aubrey Leonard and Brandy Nagel, run that program, and that's specifically for smaller companies. So more like food founders, entrepreneurs that are just kind of getting their business started. I help them, so we do some food safety programming with them, but they also do a lot, everything under the sun, business development, market branding, logistics. How do you get a co-packer? How do you work with a shared kitchen? Everything under the sun, financing, all of these topics and more, they explore with their cohorts. So if you're interested in participating in that, you can go to the GTFBA page and learn more. You can also Google Georgia Tech Food and Beverage Accelerator. Another Georgia-specific resource, this is outside of Georgia Tech, but the Georgia Department of Agriculture has a big division called Georgia Grown. And probably all of you have been familiar with this, but this is really their marketing um, branch of the GDA. And so they do all kinds of education. Um, and pretty much their mission is very similar to our mission. They just want to help Georgia food and beverage and agriculture commodity companies grow and expand their marketplaces. So go to georgiagrown.com for more information. Some really amazing opportunities there. Georgia Grown also has Georgia Grown Resource Centers. So they're going to start opening up these resource centers all across the state. There's already one in Metter, Georgia, and one in Albany. They're opening one in Douglas and Dawsonville, and plans for probably about a total of 12 all throughout the state. I've been working with their Metter plant for quite a long time, and they do education, resources, networking support, all kinds of different programmings. Very totally free or maybe even very low cost. And so if you're interested, you can go to the Georgia Grown website and you can get to the Resource Center page from there. But Heidi Jeffers is a dear partner of ours, and she's the director of the Georgia Grown Resource Center. So you can contact Heidi at that information right there on your screen. Or again, you can always put Georgia Grown Resource Center in your internet search and it'll pop right up. Another Georgia resource we have is the Small Business Development Center. And so this is also a university sponsored initiative. And this really focuses, this is university extension, but it focuses on the business side of things. So do you need help getting a loan? Do you need help with your strategy, with your business plans? They have a lot of educational and one-on-one support available. And I believe that most of their support is free. Some of their education is very low cost. But there are SBDC centers all around the state. And so you can go to georgiasbdc.org to learn more and find the center closest to you. Definitely a fantastic resource. And then our friends over at University of Georgia, we're only rivals when it comes to football. When it comes to extension and outreach, we are definitely friends and partners. So they have a couple different extension programs I wanted to highlight. They, of course, have way more than this, but especially kind of our counterparts would be the UGA Food Science Department. They're the ones that do the Flavor of Georgia contest you probably have heard about. They do training classes, consulting, and process authority work as well. Uh, one of their programs is called UGA Food Pick. That's the Food Product Innovation Center in Griffin, Georgia. And they are the ones that can help you with product development, labels, shelf life testing. They have a lot of services, low-cost services there for Georgia companies as well. And then, of course, if you're a seafood company, our friends at the UGA Marine Extension Sea Grant. Aaron Anderson does a fantastic job doing food safety things for seafood and also a lot of other types of seafood services. So it's just a specialization and they are fantastic to work with. Now, you might say to yourself, well, I'm not a seafood company, but I am, obviously I deal with a specific type of product. There are universities that specialize in certain types of products and commodities. And so, definitely do some searching, some internet searching for that. If you have questions, you can always reach out to us and we can help. But I'll have to tell you that I have actually gone to some of these university websites to learn more information about a specific product. For example, University of Wisconsin-Madison, they are dairy experts and they have a lot of free information on their website. If you want to learn about food allergens, the best, University of Nebraska-Lincoln, they have a program called FARP, the Food Allergy Resource and Research Program. Fantastic free information, tons of information. Again, go to University of Georgia has a poultry science center. They have a lot of extension there. Produce, University of California, Davis is a great place. Nuts, they do a lot of nut work too, and wine. Citrus and juice, of course, University of Florida. Their extension, they have a citrus research station that does a lot of specialized help specifically in that area, juice and citrus fruits. For meat, shouldn't surprise you, a lot of the Midwestern universities like Texas A&M, Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, they all have really good extension departments that specify in, more the meat production. And then produce, Cornell has the Produce Safety Alliance, so they're definitely experts when it comes to all things produce. So, like I said, just do some exploring on your internet browser and search university extension and then put in whatever commodity or food product that you specialize in. And you're going to find their websites and you're going to find some free resources. Um, and anybody, even if you're not a part of that state, you can still access those resources. Universities also do publications. So these are some of the things on their websites: white paper, guidance documents, general information. And so you can see one of my favorites, and this is something I've used my entire career, is the Kansas State Thermometer Calibration Guide. Teaches you exactly step by step with fantastic pictures on how to calibrate thermometers. We have some fact sheets too, but many university extension websites will have these white papers and fact sheets to help you along your way. All right, so let's switch gears a little bit and let's talk about governmental resources. So governmental resources is something that a lot of people don't really know about. When we think of GDA, FDA, USDA, we think, okay, well, they're going to come and do inspections and make my life a little difficult. But they actually provide quite a lot of outreach themselves, mostly in the form of emails, newsletters, and alerts. So all of these organizations do that. So here in Georgia, the Georgia Department of Agriculture, they do a really fantastic weekly email with recalls, all the recalls affecting Georgia. I get it myself, one email a week. It's really nice. FDA and USDA also have automatic emails. I get several from both of these organizations. I get their recall emails. I get their warning letter emails, their updates and alerts. So you can go into their websites and you can customize exactly what types of things you want to see and don't want to see. And CDC also has automatic emails that are really quite fantastic. So definitely, as new technologies come and research and emerging issues, all of these emails and alerts will really help you keep up to date with what's going on in the industry. Now, specifically, the Georgia Department of Agriculture has some great resources inside of the state as well. So if you go to the GDA's Food Safety Division website, you can get more information on a ton of different things, the specific GDA regulations. They have some really good educational material about natural disasters, what to do to protect your company and your product and your people when there's a flood or a fire or hurricane or tornado. Um, and the Georgia also has the Georgia Food Safety and Defense Task Force, which is really great around, especially around protecting your food from food fraud or your plant from security issues. So GDA, great resource. Definitely do some exploring on their website. The FDA also has a bunch of resources. FDA and USDA both have created a series of guidance documents. This is a picture of one of my favorite guidance documents. It's the labeling guidance document because I get a lot of labeling questions. And what I'll do, I'll try to answer it as best I can, but I'll send them the PDF because it's a fantastic document that pretty much tells you everything you need to know about properly labeling your product. And it even has pictures and diagrams, and I just absolutely love it. So you can get information, all of these different guidance documents on any food safety subject you can think of. The FDA also has a whole page devoted to the Food Safety Modernization Act, which not only has the regulations, but also has guidance documents for almost everything. So if you're having difficulty complying with something, definitely check out these governmental websites, do search, and look for these guidance documents because they will help you out. And the FDA website is just fda.gov. Pretty easy. USDA, again, is a great resource. And I realized that I have the wrong email here. Sorry. The wrong web address. It should be usda.gov. Obviously, I did a little cut and pasting. But they also have regulations, guidance documents, uh, complying with HACCP, labeling, all different types of things. And so this is just an example of one of their guidance documents. This is specifically a really nice uh, white paper on how to do a recall plan, especially for a small facility. So very, very helpful. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is industry and professional organizations. And this is really cool because usually these organizations, there are some resources that you can access for free, or you can become a member and access even more. And so we'll talk about a little of these. And the fantastic thing is in this day and age, you can belong to an international organization, and it's easy and relatively cheap. And you can, get the resources from not only the experts in our country, but also the experts from all around the world. So here are a few of my favorites. And of course, there is a professional organization for every type of food out there. And so this is just a very, very small little sampling. Uh, my favorite professional organization is the International Association of Food Protection, IAFP. Their website has a ton of information on it, and they do all kinds of webinars, support things, and they have their annual meeting was last week, and it is just really the best food safety conference you can go to. They also have state chapters. And so our own state chapter of IAFP is the Georgia Association of Food Protection. And we're a really strong chapter. We have 2 meetings a year, very inexpensive. And this is where you can go and learn more about the food safety research that's going on at the universities, governmental updates, advancements in technologies, and emerging issues and threats to our industry. Another one, a little less food safety focused, but more broad, is the Georgia Food Industry Association. Very, very strong. They do lobbying, they do networking, they do educational outreach as well. Another national one is, you may have heard of GMA. It's now called CBA, the Consumer Brands Association. They are also kind of a little more of a lobbying group, but they do a lot of education as well. And you don't even have to be a member. They have a lot of stuff free on their website. And again, there's an organization for every single product out there. So this is just two I randomly picked. The U.S. Poultry and Egg Association is actually housed in Georgia. Doesn't surprise you. And the American Association for Meat Processors, both amazing, amazing organizations. So if you're in dairy or produce or nuts or bakery, it doesn't matter. There are several professional organizations out there for you. All right. Industry has also created a lot of guidance documents and support. The industry does a lot of webinars. So again, just, start searching for webinars, podcasts, different things that you can access, and much of it is for free. So here's an example of my favorite industry guidance document, and this is the sanitary design guidance. And so I use this all the time when I'm helping companies create new equipment to make sure that the equipment is going to be appropriate and safe for food production. Again, very short, very easy to read, and freely available. So there's a lot of publications out there that are free. And of course, the industry has a ton of different free magazines, newsletters, and a lot of these things are digital now. So you just get an email, and you have to be a little careful because you can definitely inundate yourself with too many emails. But a lot of times they have settings. So if you only want to get, an email a week or an email a month, they can do that. But this is just a huge list of different industry magazines from a couple different commodities, but there are magazines for every type of product. One of them I definitely want to mention is the Farmers and Consumers. That's a Georgia publication that's specific for the agricultural industry and the food industry in Georgia. Fantastic, fantastic publication. So, if you are interested in learning more specifically about Georgia, what's going on around Georgia Tech, we also have a newsletter. We do a specific food and beverage newsletter that comes out once a quarter. So you can definitely take out your cameras and scan that QR code. And we'll try to put these links in the chat as well. So just in summary, there are a ton of resources out there, uh, both at Georgia Tech, across Georgia, and really across the world. In this digital day and age, everything is accessible. Some things you have to pay for, but much of it is totally free. So really the only limit is how good are you at doing internet searches. So if you want to learn more, if you would ever need to contact me, this is my digital business card, this QR code right here up on your screen. Um, but yes, do reach out, do take advantage of these resources. If you've not checked out Georgia Grown or the Georgia Grown Resource Center, they are absolutely fantastic. Um, and they'll help you quite a lot. And so with that, let's see. Oh, here are a few of our other newsletters. In addition to that food and beverage newsletter on the right, that was the one I showed you before, we also have a monthly manufacturing newsletter. And on the left is a newsletter specifically for worker safety or OSHA type of things. So definitely take advantage of all the resources that you have across the state and the world.